I wish that I had this video when I was going into college because I feel like everything that I'm about to say is just stuff that I've learned and stuff that I just wish that I would have known beforehand. Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenna, and if you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're doing a little bit of a sit down video, and I'm going to just be telling you guys a little bit of some tips and just some things that I've learned about being in college. And this is especially for the senior, if you're graduating this year and you're going into college next year, or maybe you're a junior and you're thinking about college. This video is definitely a good video for you to sit down and listen in. I just finished my sophomore year of college. Last year when I was a freshman, I was living in the dorms and I went to a college that was an hour away from my home. And then this year I transferred and I moved back into my lovely home, and now I commute to a college that is 30 minutes from where I live. So I've seen both sides of the story. I've seen the dorm life and I've seen the at-home life, and I just kind of know both sides, and I'm so excited to share what I've learned from being on both sides of that. I've got a ton of things written down, so hopefully this doesn't take too long and hopefully I don't talk your ear out. So my first little pieces of advice are just really cliche. I feel like I heard so many people say this, but the first thing that I want to point out is that college looks different for everyone. And I think you kind of understand what I mean by that, but college isn't for everyone. Some of you might not even go to college. Some of you are going and you just want to go for the parties. I know that there's a lot of different things, like different stigma around college, like, oh, it's just for the parties, whatever. But honestly, if that's for you, great. And if not, that's also great. You do not need to go to college and feel pressured to do anything that you don't want to do. You make college what you want it to be, and we'll get into that farther down the list. But my next advice, and this is definitely for the senior, which definitely already decided where you're wanting to go, but just know that you do not need to go to the D1 school or to the school that like everyone else is going to. I had kind of thought that I need to go to this D1 school because it's so cool and like whatever. I toured it. It was not for me. I'm not a downtown type of person. I'm not like a big city girl, but just because the D1 school is popular doesn't mean that you need to go to it. Obviously, if you like that style and that sense of life, then go. Then it's for you. But if you just like, your gut is always going to tell you what's right and what's wrong for you. I knew deep down that I didn't want to go there, but I wanted to go there because everyone else wanted to go there. Join the clubs, join the sports, join the sororities, because that is where you meet people. Another piece of advice that kind of relates to that is to hang out where you want to find people. If you are trying to find friends but you don't like partying, don't go to a party just to find friends. I go to Crew because I want to meet people who are passionate about the same thing as me, and that's Jesus. So when I go to Crew, I know that I'm going to find people that I adore being around and we have the same passion. That's what I mean. I go to Women in Business because I know that I'm going to find girls who are passionate about their jobs, passionate about their future. Join whatever it is that you want, but make sure that you're joining something that you know will bring out the best in you, and you're joining something that you know you will find a great community of people that resemble who you want to be like and who you want to act like. Okay, enough of my cliche advice. So now I'm going to get into my dorm life because yes, like I said, I in fact did live in a dorm my freshman year, so I know some things. My number one tip is to keep your room clean. You are living in a tiny space, a tiny area, and it's so easy for your things to get misplaced. And for that reason, it is super important to stay organized. So buy things to help yourself keep your room clean. Okay, advice number 2 is to not bring as many dishes and silverware as you think. Do not, and I repeat, do not buy pots and pans and all this other stuff. The only thing that you really need as a freshman is plates and utensils and maybe cups, and that's it. As a senior and like throughout that summer, I cooked a lot at home, so I was like, oh, I'll want like these dishes and these things to cook in the dorms. But I'm telling you right now, because you have your meal plan like card, you are not doing any cooking. Maybe once a week, maybe. In most places and most universities, you need to have a meal plan as a freshman. And if you do need to cook or you do want to cook, your university should have utensils and other things that you can use, like pots and pans, to like rent out, and then you can just wash them and give them back. So don't waste the money, don't waste the space, just don't get it. Just don't bring that stuff, don't buy it. Like I said, all you need is probably plates and utensils and maybe some cups, and that's it. My last piece of advice for a dorm room is to bring slippers or shoes or something that you can walk around your dorm with. I know some people who would go barefoot and maybe literally even just in their socks, and like, I don't think you understand how disgusting a dorm room is. It is gross. So wear your shoes, wear something. I always wore slippers that I got from Target. They were so easy. They were like slides, so I would slide them on, go to the bathroom, walk back, like whatever. But I'm telling you, do not go in your socks, and please do not go barefoot. Okay, now let's switch categories and let's talk about classes. Number one is you are paying for your classes. So go. I never understood why people skip class and don't go and like only show up on the big days where we're doing a review. I've never understood that. You're paying for these classes and you're not just paying like a teeny bit of money. Like, you're paying a lot of money to get an education. So go. It is not hard to show up at all. Like, there have been many times where I probably didn't have to go to class and drive the 30 minutes there just to sit there and drive the 30 minutes back. But I did anyway, because guess what? I'm paying for it. So I'm gonna go. Advice number 2 for your classes is to be careful when you're buying your books. Books are expensive, and for a lot of schools, you have to buy the books. They don't just give them to you, and those books are expensive. So my advice to you is to don't buy the book right away. If I were you, I would show up to class, and usually the professor will say, because usually on the first day it's just talking about like the syllabus and blah blah blah. If I were you, I would just show up to that first day of class and they will talk about it if you need it or if you don't. And sometimes there's online ones. There have been times where I've bought a book and I didn't need it and I just spent all this money and we didn't even talk about it. We didn't even use it. So if I were you, I would just wait. Okay, number 3 is kind of true and kind of false. I know a lot of people say that you can create your own schedule in college. Honestly, I don't think that that's like true. Some of the classes only occur at certain times of the day, so like, yes, you can kind of create your own schedule, but like at the same time, no. The classes occur when they occur, and if that's a bad time for you, then too bad. That's kind of what it's felt like, for me at least. Okay, another tip is to go to Rate My Professor. I like this place, but I also don't like this place because some people will write a really bad review and you can just tell that they didn't really show up or didn't try. Usually there are people who do write pretty solid reviews. It's just kind of a great way to figure out if you're going to like that professor or not and what their grading is like. Is that class hard? I would just suggest to be careful because sometimes, like I said, there are people who build them up to be like this such bad person when they didn't even show up to class. Get as much in as you can. This is what I mean by that. You are going to college to get a degree, so pile things onto your name as much as you can. You're spending 4 years there and you might as well grab as many things as you can and stick it to your name as possible. My major is public relations. I personally want to either get an advertising minor or a double major in advertising. This is kind of another point, but like, look at your classes and figure out what you can minor in that's really close to those classes. For majoring in PR and having a minor in advertising, like, I would only need 2 other classes because those classes overline so much. Okay, this is a big one. Use a planner. This is so important, especially in college. You have so many classes going on and there is a lot going on, especially if you're involved in sports, extracurriculars. You just have such a busy life. So having a planner is so important. Plus, to go along with this, your professors will always, well, I don't want to say always, but they will have a syllabus that they go through and all of your assignments are laid out right there. Take those assignments and literally just plaster them into your planner right away. They've got the due dates, they've got what it's about, they've got description. If I were you, I would just literally, before the class even starts, put all that stuff into your planner so that way, 1, you don't forget, but 2, it's already organized. You can already see your weeks ahead of you and it just gets you more prepared. Okay, the last and final thing that I wanted to say about your classes is to write your notes. This is so important to me because it has been proven so many times that writing things down can help with your memorization and memory, and that is so true. I know with technology, there are so many people just like typing their notes, and like if that's for you, that's great. But honestly, I would highly recommend writing your notes down on a notebook, or even if you have the iPad, just like writing it down. That is so beneficial for your knowledge and your memorization. There have been times where I've been sitting in a classroom and seriously, it's been me and like one other person just writing things down in an actual notebook instead of like typing it or whatever. So if I were you, I would write it down by hand. Like I said, it just helps with your memory. The last and final section that I want to talk about is just some like practical things. And I think these are really important things to like keep in mind. So number one is to stay connected to your friends back home. I just remember sitting outside on the beach with me and my friends in the back of my dad's truck, and we were just like looking out at the sunset, and we were like, dang, like this is the last time that like we're gonna be like together. And like that's obviously not true, but I will say that when you do go to college, and if you're going to a different college than your friends, or even if you are going there with your friends, there is going to be some sort of distance between you guys. I think a lot of people can say this, like me and my best friends, we are all still very much best friends, but in high school you know what's going on in their life like every single day because you see them every day. But being away from them, you don't know what's going on every day in their life, and you don't know who their new friends are, and like there's just some things that you don't know anymore. And I think that that's kind of the sad thing about growing up, but that's also kind of beautiful. Like we're each becoming our own individual human beings. While it is sad to know that like probably sitting in the back of my dad's truck was probably the last time that we'd ever be like that close, is sad. It's also super encouraging to know that, like I said, we are becoming adults and we are becoming our own human beings, and that doesn't mean that we won't ever know what's going on in each other's lives. Like we still text regularly, we still meet up whenever it is possible. So that is why it is super important to keep up with your friends, and especially your family. Text your parents, text your mom and dad. They would love to see you and hear from you every day. And now that I live at home, they hear from me every day, so now they might be sick of me. Stay connected, but also know that there will be some growth individually between you guys. Very much okay to feel homesick, and in fact, that will happen. Leaving to go to a college, however far away, you will get homesick. And I think it kind of happens when your life is like slowing down, like on those slower nights of classes, or those slower nights when you're just studying and you're kind of by yourself. That's when it kind of comes up. One, yes, it's sad to know that you're not at home, but two, it's also a beautiful thing to know that you love your family that much, that you miss them so much. Okay, my next thing to note is I think it's important to get a part-time job. First reason is because one, college is so expensive, so you're going to need some sort of income, and I know it's super hard to work during college classes because you just feel like you don't have time off, because during your time off you need to be studying or doing homework. But also two, it helps you get that community. I have had multiple jobs. I had a job during my freshman year on campus, and then I also have had jobs here at my college now, and I have seen great like feedback from that. I made friends at my old college, and like every time we'd see each other it was like a wave or whatever, or like a hi, or we would go and get ice cream after work because we found these coupons, like whatever. It was just always so fun. Get to know those people because they are friends outside of college life, and I think that's also super important. Okay, the last and final tip that I would give is to learn about your major or learn about other majors. My professors saying that a lot of people go into business not knowing that PR even exists, and that's what they want to do, but they go into business because they, like I said, had no idea that it existed. I would learn about your major, figure out what it is that you want to do. And this is also important to talk to an advisor, because if you go in just doing like business or whatever, you might not ever find out about public relations even though you wanted to do event planning. I think sometimes you can go into something not knowing what's on the other side, even though there's this right here that's perfect for you. It is okay to be undecided. I went in undecided my freshman year, and honestly I think that was great because I got all of my gen eds out of the way, and I don't hate that I did that in any way. Plus it also gives you an idea of different classes that you might personally attach yourself to, that you might like, and then you're like, oh, I actually do like this. That is all that I have for you guys today. This is so sweet and so tender. I wish that I could go back to freshman year of college me and say all these things to her. I just want to leave on this note and say that be patient with yourself, be patient with everyone around you. You do not need to have everything figured out right now. Trust the plan that God's given you. He has that dream in your heart for a reason. Pursue it, pursue him. Find friends that you want to be friends with, and you know what? If you go to a college that you don't like, it is okay to switch that around, come back home, or go to a different college. Have fun. This has gone by so fast. I cannot believe that I am a junior already. I will be a junior next year. That is crazy. But anyways, I wish you all the best of luck wherever you are going. If you need more advice or you have questions about college that I didn't get to, leave them down below. I would love to respond. Let me know what your plans are. Let me know what you're majoring in. That would be so fun to know. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you guys back next week for another video. Mwah. Bye guys.